John Swinney is doing exactly the right thing at the moment. He has had talks with the police in Scotland. He has sent uh, members of the police in Scotland to help in Northern Ireland. He has made it quite clear there's no place in Scotland for hatred of any kind, and he, no doubt he's very proud that so far, the last few days, he says, have been challenging and worrying time for many, with scenes of violence unfolding in other parts of the United Kingdom. I would like to thank Police Scotland for their continued work to protect our communities. Their ongoing engagement across Scotland and enhanced patrols are vital to support community cohesion and ensure public safety. We remain vigilant to the potential for disorder in Scotland, and I have been reassured by Police Scotland that it has the capability and the resources in place to respond should we face similar challenges, and that plans and preparations are in place to ensure everybody is kept safe. And he's right. There hasn't been disorder, there haven't been riots in Scotland, partly because Reform UK doesn't have the same sort of hold in Scotland that it has in England and perhaps in Northern Ireland. But equally, Scotland has dealt with the cost of living crisis in a different way. The problem in England is that the people responsible for the cost of living crisis, that is really the banks, have never taken responsibility seriously, have never taken their own responsibility for the problems that they caused. And those problems began with the last Labour government, and they continued with the last Conservative government, paying out huge amounts of money from the government to the banks, feathering their feathering their pockets, feathering their beds? I can't think what you feather anyway. But we in the end are paying the price for that, for their comfort. And this must be wrong. It's about an obsession with trickle-down economics, which is not only a principle enshrined in the Conservative manifesto effectively, but it's also there in Labour. Trickle-down economics doesn't work in a modern context because the people who are rich offshore their money or simply leave, like Dyson. When the going gets tough, they go. And they're not investing and they're not helping. And yet, we've given them so much. We, taxpayers, we have given them so much. And this is compounded by the huge amounts of money which were paid out during COVID. Yes, there were little bits of money which we all got, which was great. But a huge amount of money nobody ever saw. And there was insufficient accounting done by either the Conservative government or Labour. And people like Baroness Mone were sitting pretty, and are still sitting pretty. And there has to come a point where you say this is wrong. Now, a lot of this didn't affect Scotland, which I suppose has a great deal to do with devolution. But it doesn't mean that Scotland is entirely free from the influence of this. But you have to stand back and think, well, Scotland has not had riots. England and Ireland have had riots. There's been some disturbance in Wales, but not much. And why is it so exclusively focused on England? It's focused on England because the issue really is the London-centric system. And I'm not sure I entirely object to the London-centric system. I don't think it's fundamentally or morally wrong. It's a way of life and was certainly necessary when the City of London was so powerful. But the City of London has been emasculated by Brexit, and we need to face this fact. And the power invested in London because of the City of London needs now perhaps to be split and sent around the country to try and help other parts of the country to grow. We have a duty to distribute what wealth we've got, because Brexit has damaged us irreparably. Brexit has damaged our international standing. I don't see that we can recover that at all, but we can make a go of it. And Swinney is right. The media giants must crack down on disinformation and the spread of racism. I think it's not about a negative action. I think it's about a positive action, that they must be spreading concepts of unity and concepts of information. That's how you deal with disinformation, and that's how you deal with racism. Because the negative doesn't work. You don't. Nobody listens to somebody wagging their finger. You listen to somebody who's got something positive to offer, something that brings people together. And problematic posts, most people put out problematic posts. The First Minister told social media bosses, "It's clear to me that social media platforms have a duty to take action to ensure that individuals in our society are not subject to hate and threatening behaviour, and that communities are protected from violent disorder. Everyone has a role in stopping the spread of misinformation. You and your platform have a specific responsibility to do so." I think everyone has a responsibility to put forward messages of positivity. It's positivity and inclusion and good stories that will change our communities, not finger wagging. Finger wagging doesn't work.